Hello friends, welcome to my channel Spark FAQs. Please subscribe to my channel to get more technology videos on Spark. Click on bell button to get notification whenever I add new videos. In this video, I am going to focus about how to set up or how to create single node of Hadoop cluster on the AWS environment. So we are going to create a Hadoop cluster, single node Hadoop cluster on the AWS EC2 instance. Let's get started. So first thing is you need to log into your EC2 instance. I already created EC2 instance. I have the public IP address. If you don't have, please follow my previous two videos how to set up a account in AWS cloud and how to create a EC2 instance on AWS cloud. Okay, those are all very simple steps. You can just follow and create it. Once you have the EC2 instance ready, you can log into that EC2 instance using a PuTTY utility. So my username is Ubuntu and the IP addresses are given in the host name of PuTTY utility. I already saved this instance details, so I just loaded and I'm just going to click on open. So it is launching my EC2 instance, which is created using EC2 instance, nothing but a virtual machine, right? It is based upon Ubuntu image, so it will have a Ubuntu operating system, right? Now what you need to do is, once you log in, just to know the current location where you are logged in, so just use the pwd command. It says home Ubuntu, so the user we are using a Ubuntu. Basically there is a default user when you create a EC2 instance with the Ubuntu image. So first thing is, what we are going to do is we are going to install a Java. So we are going to install a OpenJDK Java. If you want to install Oracle Java, you can very well you can go and install. The only thing is tries to install Ubuntu Java 1.8 version, so that it is compatible with the Hadoop version which we are using. So Hadoop version we were using is a 3.3 Apache Hadoop 3.3.1. So I am going to install the OpenJDK 1.8. For that I just do the update, the sudo apt update, and it is already almost up to date, so just done. So I am going to run this command called sudo apt install and openjdk-8-jdk. So this is going to install the OpenJDK 1.8. So once you enter, it is going to prompt what are the packages it is going to install, and it's going to consume additional 563 MB of disk space. So I'll just say OK, type Y, and then it will start download those packages and install it. It will take some time, based you just wait for it. So this is done. So OpenJDK is installed on my virtual machine, which is nothing but EC2 instance. So you can verify the path. So path will be user lib jvm usr/usr/lib/jvm/java-8-openjdk-amd64. So that's the root location of Java installation. And inside bin you will have Java compiler, everything. So this is successfully installed. Now I have to set the environment variable called Java home. So what I need to do is I'll just open the profile file, which is .bashrc, and then enter the export Java home. You can just see it is export Java home Java_home equal to the path of your OpenJDK were installed, and then export path equal to $path: $Java home/bin. So this, once you add this environment variable, you can access anywhere the Java interpreter or compiler from anywhere in your shell. The PuTTY, whenever you log into the EC2 instance, you can just invoke the Java compiler and Java interpreter from anywhere. So and save to, I am using a nano editor. You see GNU Nano 2.9.3 editor. For nano editor, to save your changes, you have to say control O. You see here cap symbol followed by O, which will write out, and exit for control X. I'll just say control O, then enter. It is written, and control X. It came out. So we have to refresh our profile file or the .rc base .bash rc file. You need to say source and give the file name with path, so it is going to refresh it. So now you can check the Java version using command called java space hyphen version. So it is installed successfully, Java 1.8, right, 0_292 minor version. So Java installation is done, because this is a very essential step for installing Apache Hadoop. Now just create a directory where I want to maintain all the softwares, because we are going to build this Hadoop on Spark cluster with very low cost, and also we are going to install some additional softwares to build big data solutions like Apache Spark and Apache Kafka, and then Apache Cassandra, then MongoDB and Kafka. So many more components or softwares or framework we are going to install it. So I'll just create a one specific directory. So I just created a mkdir, a directory called data making. Inside the data making directory, I'm going to create a folder called softwares. So I'm going to keep all the softwares in the software folder. So now what you need to do is, I want to create a passwordless login. Okay, so I'll just go to home directory, cd/home/ubuntu is my user. So I'll just go to home directory, and I'm going to install OpenSSH server and OpenSSH client. Okay, mostly it will be already installed, just to make sure I install it if not installed. So the command is sudo space apt-get space install space OpenSSH-server space OpenSSH-client. So this will make sure the OpenSSH server and client is installed, so that you can make the SSH connection to the EC2 instance, because we are able to do that. So I'm just running. If not, if you have any problem on the OpenSSH server, this will resolve that. So it is already installed it, so it says done. So next thing is, I have to create a passwordless login, because we are building a distributed computing platform, right? There are we are going to using the distributed computing framework like Spark and Hadoop. There are many more processes which interact with other processes, so we need to from one machine to other machine in the cluster. So we need to create a passwordless login between the different nodes in the cluster. So for that, what you need to do is, you have to generate a private key first. So for that, you can use a utility called SSH-keygen space -t RSA and -p passwordless, so -p, and you just say double quote and double quote, so that no password is. So once you enter this, so it will ask the basically the file name. If you don't provide the file name, it will be id_rsa. So I'll just leave it, just enter, don't give any name, just say enter. So the fingerprint is created, means the private key is generated. Now we need to add this private key to the there is a file called, so if you look at this location /home/ubuntu, and there is a hidden folder called .ssh. Inside that, the private key is created, which is id_rsa, and then you have another file called authorized_keys. So you need to add this content from this id_rsa to the authorized keys, so that you can make a passwordless login. Then you can just do the cat of that RSA, the public key id_rsa.pub greater than authorized keys file. So whatever content in this public key, it will be added to the authorized key. So that is done. Now you can do SSH localhost. So this will just, without asking password, it will just log in. So we are able to log in now, right? So I just exit and come out of that SSH localhost connection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start installing the Apache Hadoop. So I just from the Apache Hadoop official website, you can go to the basically the um, you can go to the Google. You can just type Apache Hadoop download, and you can click on download page of the Apache Hadoop, and you can click on this binary. We are going to install the 3.3.1. You can just click on binary and then click on this URL. So it will start downloading it, right? So you can actually, I'll just cancel now because we are going to directly download from the EC2 instance. You can copy this URL. That's what I did here. So I'm just going to download that the binary file or the compressed software of Apache Hadoop directly in the EC2 instance. So you can use the command called wget followed by the path of the binary file, okay, the Apache Hadoop framework. So this is going to download. So it is of size some 577 MB. It will take some time to download, so it is downloading. 100% is completed. If I do ls, so it says I am actually in the home directory, so it is downloaded in the home directory itself. The file name is hadoop-3.3.1.tar.gz. So this file I'm just moving to the software folders because I want to keep all my softwares inside the data making softwares folders. So I just move this file to that location. So once I moved it, I will just go to that location, cd home ubuntu data making /softwares. So then I do ls, the file is there. I will extract it, right? So we have to extract that file and do the set of configuration changes to make single node Hadoop cluster to run. So the command is sudo tar -xzvxz vf and give the file name. It is going to start extracting it. So once this file is extracted, now we are going to set the Hadoop home environment variable by specifying the location of the Hadoop is installed. There are other environment variable also we are setting up related to Hadoop. So it will be like Hadoop home and Hadoop mapper, mapped home, Hadoop common home, Hadoop HDFS home. There are yarn home. There are many environment variable with respect to Hadoop we are setting up. The Hadoop is installed on this. Whenever we extracted at the softwares folder, so the path will be /home /ubuntu /datamaking/software /hadoop-3.3.1. This is the location Hadoop is installed or extracted. That is the root directory of Apache Hadoop. So once you put this content in the bashrc file, just say Ctrl O to save it and Ctrl X to exit out of it. So now the next step is refresh this profile file or bashrc file to reflect the changes. So I can just now just invoke a command called Hadoop space version, which will just say what is the Hadoop version we extracted or installed. Now Hadoop 3.1 is installed on this machine. Now we have to fully use this Hadoop cluster, single node cluster. We need to do some configuration changes. So for that I need to first put the Java home inside the Hadoop environment file, which is located on the inside your Hadoop folder. There will be etc folder. Inside that you will have a Hadoop folder. Inside that you will have a file called hadoop-env.sh. So this is the location. So I am just opening the nano editor. So here I just put this export Java home and the root path of the Java installation location, and again save it. So this is done. So next step is to create a temporary location or the folder or directory to whenever you run some Hadoop related commands and jobs, there will be a Linux temporary Linux directory need to be created to maintain some of the metadata. So we are creating it. So we just say sudo mkdir-p. So there are some subdirectories we are creating. So inside software folders hadoop underscore data slash temp. So once you create, so now what I am going to do is I am just going to this. I am not going to give full path for the every configuration file I'll change. Instead, I'll go to that location where all the configuration files are there. So that location is, I just to change the directory cd space, the location is /home /hadoop /datamaking /softwares /hadoop hyphen 3.1.1 /etc/hadoop. So this is the location all the configuration files are located. I'll just open first core site.xml, which is generally used to specify the Hadoop temporary directory as well as the SDFS URL or URI, or SDFS the host name and the default port number for the RPC connection. So basically I just the temporary directory we created in the previous step, I'm just providing hadoop.temp dir equal to that path, and fs.dfs default fs, this is the Hadoop this is the using this URL only you will access the Hadoop directories, right? So I'm setting up this, so it will be like sdfs colon / localhost colon 9000 is the RPC port I am using it. It's better to use the internal IP address of the EC2 instance rather than localhost. I'm just using the localhost, but I advise you to use the internal IP address of the EC2 instance. So once you save this, the next file change will be sdfs site.xml. So before that we need to create a Linux directory to maintain the metadata for name node and data node. So I'm just creating a two subdirectories under the Hadoop underscore data folder or directory. The directory names are name node and data node. So once you create these two directories, then you set the ownership for the Ubuntu user for these two directory using the chown -r space, username is Ubuntu, group also Ubuntu, and the path you provide. Now you can change the SDFS site.xml where you need to provide the replication factor for the SDFS blocks. Whenever whenever you store a file in SDFS, so by default it will be the file will be broken into multiple blocks based on the block size, and each block will be replicated in your Hadoop cluster based on this replication factor. If is specified 1, so there won't be any there won't be replication of or duplication of your blocks. So if your replication factor is 3, you see always in your Hadoop SDFS you will have a 3 version or 3 copy of the single block. So since this is the single node Hadoop cluster, we are using replication factor as 1. And apart from this, you are mentioning dfs name node dot name dot dir data.dir and provide data.dir and provide the name node and data node the Linux directories. So and then save this sdfs site.xml file. This is the one of the important configuration file. So once you do that, you open the next configuration file called mapred sudo nano mapred-site.xml. So if you open that, so you need to provide this content. Okay, so what is the content you need to provide? What is the, so from the Hadoop 2.0 we are using the yarn for the resource management. Before 2.0 there was Hadoop was using the one process which is called job tracker, which does both resource management and job scheduling and job tracking. So this has been there has been change in the Hadoop 2.0 where they introduced something called yarn for the resource management and job scheduling, and the MapReduce does only the computation. So that's the reason you need to specify MapReduce.framework.name as a yarn. So once you specify this, then the last step for the configuration changes will be map yarn site.xml, which is to specify the some of the information like yarn node manager accelerate services, which is mapped shuffle, and there are other the what is the shuffle class for that. All this information you provide, and finally the what is the web web URI or yarn web UI URL, on which port I can access the yarn web UI or yarn dashboard. So that is defined here. So localhost colon 8088. So this is also you should provide the EC2 instance internal IP address rather than localhost. So uh, in the future and in the after a couple of steps I changed this, but it is better for you to change first itself. So it will be like internal IP address colon 8088. This is the default port number for yarn dashboard. So once you make all these changes, and again you set the ownership for this Ubuntu users on this location, just make sure it has proper ownership, and then you need to format the name node. The first once you do all the Hadoop related configuration, the first step is to format your HDFS. So the command to format the HDFS space name node space hyphen format. So this will format your HDFS. Okay, so if you see the message called uh, storage directory, the particular name node directory has been successfully formatted. So once you see this message, then the name node is the Hadoop is properly set up, or the the HDFS is properly set up and formatted. So now we have we extracted our Hadoop binary file, and we made all the configuration changes, and we formatted HDFS also. Now it's time to start your storage related processes for the HDFS and computation and resource management related processes, yarn and MapReduce. So for storage, there is a shell script file called start-dfs.sh, which will start the name node, data nodes, and secondary name nodes. And once this is started, if you type the JPS command, which actually lists the Java processes. So all this name node and data node, secondary name nodes are the Java processes, which manages different responsibility of HDFS. So a name node always has the metadata about data stored in HDFS. Data node stores actual data, which is a blocks in HDFS, and secondary name node have the copy of your name node, and it takes the copy of that name node in the periodic interval. So now next step is to start your yarn related yarn service or yarn related processes. For that you can use the command called or shell script called start-yarn.sh, which will start the resource manager and node manager. So node manager is basically a integer node level master process, and resource manager the entire clusters master process for the resource management and scheduling. So once you type again JPS, you will see all this process are running. Now you can just go to the your AWS management console and open your EC2 instance and get your basically the first one it okay. So go to this AWS console and click on the security group. Okay, so in the security group, we remember we created while creating a EC2 instance, our security group is data making SC. So we need to create a inbound rules. So basically by default when you create a EC2 instance, only SSH port 22 is opened, other ports are not open. So we need to open the 9780 I guess, and also 8088 for the name node and the resource manager or yarn dashboards. So for that you just open this security group and come down, edit inbound role, click on the edit inbound role, and then okay, now once you start edit you can add the rule. Once you click add rule, you can specify the what is the protocol you are using to access the particular port number. So it's basically a TCP port, TCP protocol. Basically we will access HTTP URL which is sits on top of your TCP. The port numbers are 9870 for the name node web UI, and 8088 is basically yarn dashboard web UI. Once these two ports are added in your inbound rule, you can save the rule changes, and once this is saved properly, and you should be able to access your name node web UI, which is the public IP address of EC2 instance colon 9870. So you see this is able to access, and there is a problem while accessing the yarn dashboard with the port number called 8088 with the public IP address of EC2 instance. So as I told you, you need to, while providing the in the yarn site.xml, so we created yarn resource manager web app address. So here I given localhost colon 8088. Instead use the internal IP address of your EC2 instance colon 8088. Once you save this, you should be able to access your yarn dashboard with the public IP address of EC2 instance, and your yarn dashboard is able to, you are able to open the yarn dashboard. Now we have successfully installed a single node Hadoop cluster on the EC2 instance. The cost is basically 3 rupees per hour for this instance. You can use it for a couple of hours and then you can stop it or terminate it. So we going to install a couple of other softwares and explore few of the things before we stop or terminate this instance. Thank you so much friends. I hope you are enjoying my technical sessions. Please subscribe to my channel Spark FAQs. We will be providing all Spark related your frequently asked questions and also other Spark related concepts. Thank you so much friends.